That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting-wise.
Really?
Put hands on you, give you real black eyes. Come on, don't do that. And that's the truth. I've had about enough of your.
Who is this?
Aries Spears.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah. He said nothing.
Is he a comedian? Yeah. Because he ain't never made me laugh, so I don't know.
If Ice Cube, the author of No Vaseline, breaks off his extravagant performance to ridicule you, you're in severe trouble. However, Aries Spears aimed for Cube's legacy rather than merely making fun of him. Aries was quite candid when he stated on Big Boy's Neighborhood that Cube was a horrible actor and rapper. Cube would not overlook that. Aries is unimportant, unfunny, and not even close to ranking in the top 10 of black comedies, claimed the actor. You know, of course, that 50 Cent learned about it later. 50 Cent enjoys ridiculing people who are already depressed the most. It began as just another laid-back stretch, but it quickly veered to the left. It was a typical barbershop conversation, nothing too difficult, and Big Boy was talking about lists of conflict themes and rapper rankings. Aries Spears, however, was totally disoriented, just like Aries. When Ice Cube's name was yelled, Aries took immediate action. His method was not just amusing, but his criticism was given with obvious disdain. As he spoke, internet users realized that this would not be a simple conclusion.
Ice Cube is a motherfucking lyricist.
I can't stand Ice Cube.
That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting-wise.
Really?
He's the same.
How much time we got left here? Because should I just tell him to leave now?
ChatGap claims that his previous statements were only an introduction. However, it didn't end there. Ice Cube's Today Was a Good Day is one of the most iconic West Coast songs in hip-hop history and one of his most enduring anthems. He disregarded the song entirely as though it weren't a part of culture, which undermined its importance and decades of devotion. The online debate heated up due to the supporters' prompt responses.
You don't think that one of the songs I hate the most, if it comes on, I want to shoot the radio. Today was a...
Even Big Boy's co-host laughed it off in an attempt to make it funnier. However, Aries had no intention of giving up. By pretending to be a doctor, he made his defamation even worse in a weird parody of Ice Cube. When he finally delivered the punchline, if you can call it that, the audience fell silent because it became so embarrassing very quickly. The guilt of the second party was occasionally shown on television.
He goes, here's Ice Cube as a gynecologist. Hey, Miss Jenkins, I looked at your chart. Now get up on that thigh.
That's racist. I don't know how it's racist, but what you just...
Aries laughed as though he had just cracked the year's greatest joke, but no one else grinned. Aries Spears had obviously gone far beyond what was appropriate. This was not about light-hearted banter, and the atmosphere was oppressive. Aries kept doubling down as if he had something to prove, and Big Boy tried to change the subject, but it made the co-hosts uneasy. He went one step farther and ridiculed Tupac, despite everyone's expectation that he would just ignore it. That's where Aries went.
He's not the greatest lyricist. He was energy. He was passion. He made you feel him. If that said, tear the club up, you wanted to tear the club up. Dear mama, you wanted to hug your mama. When you think about lyricism, Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Jadakiss, my lyrics.
He made disparaging remarks, but neglecting the entire West Coast is the simplest way to be excluded from this area. Even stranger was the fact that Aries knew exactly what he was doing. This slip wasn't unplanned. It was well planned. Finally turning to the camera, he said,
Watch the comments. Now when people talk about, you ask anybody, no matter where their region, you know, give me a top 5 rappers. Pac's usually always in that list. Right. I don't ever put Pac up there with the top.
ChatGap claims that resistance was present right away. One fan said, I love Aries' skill, but Ice Cube slandered. That is not permitted. According to another, this makes Aries untrustworthy when discussing Pac or Cube's lyrical abilities. His main complaint is that the West Coast takeover of New York in the 1980s and 1990 seconds diminished its influence. Those that shout hate, like Aries, usually receive no answer at all from the renowned. Usually, they ignore it and go on. But not today. Ice Cube's reaction was very unusual. He asked whether Aries was funny, relevant, or even truly significant in black comedy, in addition to simply delivering the clapback.
Saw a comedian speaking kind of bad about you, man.
Who is this?
Aries Spears.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah. He said nothing.
Is he a comedian?
Yeah.
Because he ain't never made me laugh, so.
Ice Cube disregarded Aries Spears' entire career. In addition to defending himself, he questioned Aries' entire legacy, going right to the goal without stopping to exchange insults. There were several insults and comments made. Essentially, Cube stated, when discussing comic icons, Aries isn't even mentioned.
Hear what he said?
What'd he say?
He said it was nothing about you impresses him. From movies to rapping, nothing at all impresses him. And I'm like, wow, like what?
Suckers usually don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that you know, they usually don't like me when they coming from that angle. That's cool though. You know, everybody got their opinion, and they all stink. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's cool. You know, he entitled to his opinion. It's the feeling is mutual. You know, I don't think he on anybody's list of top 10 comedians. You know what I mean, in the black community for sure. I don't even know if he's on the register.
Due to his extensive play, Cube was an expert in this game. Since the beginning, he has been a rock star, having written for NUA, founded the Big Three League from the bottom up, produced one of the best diss tracks ever, and written timeless songs like Friday. Ice Cube's resume clearly shows that. However, the video wasn't only that popular. After being ridiculed by celebs and humiliated by followers on social media, Aries Spears made an appearance on Vlad TV and restated all of his statements.
You had some words about Ice Cube recently.
You know, Willie D called me.
Okay.
I was in Louisville, Kentucky. And this, I love Willie D, that's my man. But this called me like I disrespected his mama. He was like, Aries, man, you don't understand what Ice Cube done did for the culture, man, and hip hop. Why you say? And I go, Willie, it's a subjective opinion. I'm allowed to not like Ice Cube.
23. It appears that Aries thought one strike on Cube was sufficient.
Anything Ice Cube's done?
Nothing. Ice Cube does nothing for me as a rapper and an actor.
Okay.
Nothing.
Let's start with the rap. The Police. You don't think that's a classic song?
It's classic because of what it represents in terms of black struggle symbolism and what black people have gone through with the police historically. It's the song that makes you go, yeah! Yeah, I get how it can touch your emotions, but it don't do.
Aries was unaware that Ice Cube had already come through the stage. 50 Cent might have been watching the recordings on his phone as everything was going on in his opulent home. The fact that Aries chose to assault him as well rapidly intensified the conflict.
What do you think about 50 Cent's acting ability overall?
This is what I think about it. He did a movie with Sylvester Stallone where it was about them in these prisons that were like cubes. You know what I mean? And he played a computer tech. You know what separated 50 Cent from 50 Cent the rapper to the computer tech actor?
Glasses?
Everyone believed that 50 would disregard it, but he responded in his own way, as he always does. He uploaded a video that showed the shadow, but no identities were provided. It was humorous, sophisticated, and petty all 50. He only ever referred to someone as insane without naming them, but his admirers soon figured out who it was.
No, she participated in the whole thing, so it's not like she could, but I'm just saying, you know how people get.
Question, though, is why 50 were first embroiled in this mess. Simply due to the fact that 50 is still scheduled and busy. He needs to be focused on managing his alcohol business, getting TV deals, creating shows like Power and BMF, and going on tour instead of worrying about trivial matters. However, it was not merely online chatter. The fact that 50 and Ice Cube have a lengthy history of respecting one another is sometimes forgotten. One of Hollywood's first trailblazers, Cube co-signed the 1950s movie career before anyone else did. By the 1950s, it was customary to send flowers as a gift while interviewing Cube.
Hey man,
I gotta listen to this. Nah, this hot right.
People like Aries are hated by comedian 50 Cent because they are noisy, violent, and uncreative. 50 likes to ignite that kind of excitement. He burned brightly. Bars in, he pulled up and said, "Check my temperature. I'm quite cold." On the left hood, my chest grew cold. Whispering, "Need help with your bills?" He broke in. "I'll compose a sort of suggestion for you. Can lead to you coming to a romantic agreement." Aries began to feel the heat at that moment. This time, he focused considerably more on Ice Cube and launched another rage that resembled a full-blown meltdown since he felt cornered.
He was on, I'm just watching. Music, all
And
of it.
movies, all of it.
Yeah. I never really seen Ice Cube in films that weren't his. You know, like he kind of produced the vehicle that he was in. And it wasn't like he was just being an actor and someone else.
3. He didn't stop there, though. Aries continued by saying Cube's response was remarkable.
I'm the poster child for the world's biggest hater. If you look up the word hate, it's my picture. When did we get to a point where unless your opinion, and last time I checked as human beings, we're all allowed to opinions. At what point does it get to where unless your opinion is favorable about a person or a thing and goes with the flow of everyone else, you're a hater?
Things deteriorated further after Aries Spears utterly destroyed his own case. Despite his disparaging comments, he abruptly changed his tone and said that he did appreciate Ice Cube as a man.
Somebody sent me a clip where Ice Cube responded. He was on a radio show and the dude played him the snippet. And the first thing Ice Cube says is, well, most suckers don't like me. Then he goes on to say, I never heard of this dude. Then he finishes by saying, well, he's just not funny. Well, you can't have it both ways. If you don't know who I am, how do you know if I'm funny or not? So you can't have it both.
The situation was only made more difficult by Aries Spears' total failure in his own case. "I think Ice Cube is a brilliant man," he said, adding that he had never accomplished anything noteworthy in his career. It is equivalent to praising someone while simultaneously dismissing their entire legacy. It was unforgiving and unclear. When he tried to backtrack while still casting shadows, fans scolded him. The bridge was already destroyed, but Aries attempted to pretend he hadn't lighted the match.
I respect Ice Cube, the man. I respect Ice Cube in terms of what he's brought to the game. He's one of the pioneers. So
Interview 9/31/9 58. It is a clear contradiction that goes beyond just being an opinion. As a result, people were angry with Aries Spears for holding a strong opinion and felt ashamed of him for shifting his position when the criticism began and playing the victim. You cannot shoot and expect to be shocked when someone shoots back with the same intensity, another said. After that skit, others remarked, "Sure, have your say, but you're not genuine, huh?" An Ice Cube was formed by one of the men, but the thing that touched him the most was the recollection of his turbulent background. This dispute stopped being a question of simple amusement at that point. Going back to Tiffany Haddish, allegations of grooming led to a contentious case against Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish in 2022. The disagreement was based on Aries' depiction of a predatory adult figure and a toddler left alone in a comedy sketch that was resurrected. The tone of the entire play was dark, and everyone felt uneasy because of the way the camera kept focusing on the toddler. Many were offended by what was meant to be satire but felt far too real. The lawsuit was later dropped, but the internet still remembered it. That skeleton was soon revealed when Aries began mocking celebrities like Ice Cube.
I wasn't a fan of his artistry. I never attacked him as a man. I never attacked him in terms of his character. I said I wasn't a fan of his artistry. Why am I not allowed to feel that way? Why is that? And then secondly, it's always funny, people call me a hater because they love to highlight when I say I don't like something as though I don't have love for anything.
It was in jeopardy at the moment.
Did you call me?
Oh yes, Uncle Pete. Can you watch TJ for me? I need to run to the I gotta run some errands. I need to go to cleaners and I should be coming back. Okay?
All right, baby.
It was criticized right away. When Twitter went crazy when the Shade Room uploaded the video, it didn't look good. As the issue was settled and the movie was taken down from the internet, Aries' reputation suffered. Outrage like this persists, particularly when children are involved. What was Aries' response? Rather than remaining mute, he returned to Vlad TV as if nothing had occurred. His apparent belief that doubling in would be beneficial actually served to highlight his vulnerability. Vlad began to appear less frequently on Vlad TV than Aries Spears. There were frequent outbursts about how he should be on par with Kevin Hart and many accusations about being blackballed. Fans quickly adopted it as the norm. Aries' time was spent talking more than working. More often than not, his name was associated with drama, persistent issues, or disputes, rather than with recent comedies or acting roles. For him, accomplishment was secondary to attention. Beyond the interviews and outbursts, a trend becomes apparent. Many former cast members have described Aries as egotistical, difficult to control, and constantly attempting to outdo everyone.
Will never be satisfied. Why? Because some other mother will come along that'll take and blow the world up, and you'll want to be that. And then some other will come around and have as talented as you, or possibly more, and then you're gonna get upset because again, you focus on everything that is not you.
Hold up.
Everything you want,
wait a minute.
but not what's in.
According to Chad Gapt, Aries Spears is incredibly gifted, fascinating, and leaves a lasting impression. He never had his Chappelle moment, though. In actuality, such a lost opportunity could incite resentment. What caused Aries to lose this rivalry is the second problem. Taking into account that criticizing Ice Cube would be equivalent to attacking a cultural icon. Cube is a movement in addition to a rapper. The song No Vaseline is among the top 3 diss songs ever made. Friday created characters that have been ingrained in black comedy culture, revolutionizing the genre. Which league are the big 3 in? Founded from the bottom up, this basketball company is now fully functioning and boasts NBA stars as co-signers. While still in his teens, Ice Cube started ghostwriting for musicians like MC Ren, Dr. Dre, and Eazy-E. Is that an indication of Aries? His most famous ventures include a few strong stand-up routines and crazy TV impersonations. Therefore, his attempt to garner global exposure through controversy was unsuccessful when he made fun of Cube on a podcast. Without hesitation, Cube's supporters rallied to his defense. It is the worst. Aries Spears' absence and the cast of the highly anticipated final Friday movie were revealed by Cube in the teaser. Even while it might not seem like much, many interpreted that as a clear message. Aries is never going to be assigned a major position, no matter how many times he impersonates someone. Aries wanted to become viral in the end. Not his sense of humor, though. It was not because of his goodness. Ice Cube and 50 Cent, 2 cultural titans, wrote him off like dust, which is why he is now well known. On top of that, for once there was no online debate.